Hey, I've got a couple questions for you today. We've started this study about the broken things in your life, and I've challenged you to be praying persistently and specifically. Could I just ask you today, just between you and God, if right now, everything you've been praying for since we started this Nehemiah study, let's just say everything you've prayed for in the last week, if everything you've prayed for in the last week was granted right now, how would your circumstances change? How big have you been praying? Well, Nehemiah was praying big. He was praying that God would turn the heart of a pagan king to give him permission to go rebuild Jerusalem. And this theme, this dual theme in Nehemiah, pray like it all depends on you, God, work like it all depends on you. As Nehemiah is praying that God will turn the king's heart, simultaneously Nehemiah is planning for how he will answer the king when God does turn the king's heart. So yesterday we saw the miracle moment. Nehemiah takes a risk. He looks sad in the king's presence. The king says, "What's up?" Nehemiah says, my city's broken down. I'm heartbroken. Would you let me go rebuild it? The king says, "How can I help?" Let's pick up at verse 6. The king, with the queen sitting beside him, asked, "How long will you be gone? When will you return?" Nehemiah summarizes here, but then he says, after I told him how long I would be gone, the king agreed to my request. Now, I don't know how much experience you have with incredibly powerful people, but this is often how they operate. You ask them a question and their answer is another question, and they want a specific answer and they want it quickly. And it can be a little nerve-wracking. I often fumble those situations, but Nehemiah was perfectly prepared. He says, "May I go do this?" The king doesn't say yes. The king says, "How long will you be gone, and when will you return?" And then we're told, after I told him how long I would be gone, the king agreed to my request. So the point is this: Nehemiah knew the answer to those two questions. As Nehemiah was praying that God would turn the heart of the king, Nehemiah was planning, okay, God, when you turn the heart of the king, he's going to ask, how long will this take? He's done research. He's talked to people. He's written stuff down. He knows it's going to take at least this many months, and I'll be able to return by this date of this year. Fascinating. It tells us a lot about how Nehemiah was lacing up his shoes and preparing even while he was praying for God to turn the heart of the king. What does this mean for you today? It builds on what we learned yesterday. Keep praying persistently for God to do a miracle in your situation. Keep praying specifically for how you want God to do the miracle, and keep planning. And I would challenge you, don't just plan vaguely, get very specific. God, when you open the door, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm ready to do it. And I've counted days, I've done math, I've gotten training I need if it's with my career, I've done counseling if it's with my marriage, I'm reading books about how to be an intentional dad if it's with my parenting. I'm doing everything I can do on my side, even as I'm praying for God to do what only he can do on his side. And here in verse 6, we see the two come together, and the miracle, it kicks off a chain reaction of events, which will continually be a mixture of God doing miracles and Nehemiah doing what only he can do with bold faith. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.